The guard shot out at Truman like a rocket, explaining that they were remodeling, unexpectedly causing a puzzled stare among the onlookers. Truman ran while looking back, thinking the workers would be chasing her, but they were completely unfazed to such unexpected comp. Getting tossed out made her blush, but the workers were oblivious, further reinforcing her suspicions. She rushed to find Marlon, her ever-busy friend, to share the magical events happening late. Little did Truman know, this childhood buddy was actually an actor arranged by the production team, occasionally advising her. Back home, her mom and wife eagerly showed her photo albums, ostensibly for memories, but to anchor her sense of reality. They aimed to emotionally tether Truman, convincing her everything was real, only to counteract their own intentions. However, once her wife sent her mom away, Truman discovered a huge secret while alone with the album. In the pictures, the wife's fingers were in a bizarre position, resembling a plea for forgiveness from the heavens, meaning their marriage was a sham. The next day, Truman didn't mention it but wanted to talk with her wife, who claimed she was busy with surgeries at the hospital. Truman decided to follow her wife to the hospital to see what was up, but as soon as she entered, a crowd of patients surrounded her. She easily dodged them, but then a nurse appeared like a bouncer, blocking her way. It was hilarious. After some effort, Truman finally reached the operating room and peered in, watching the main surgeon ready to cut what a show. The hospital security saw her peeking, and concern hit Truman as she was itching to escape. She went to a travel agency to buy a ticket to Fiji, only to be told she'd have to wait a month. How ridiculous. It was peak season, leaving Truman no choice but to take a bus, but the production crew had other plans to throw her off. The driver deliberately broke down the engine right as they were about to leave, and poof, everyone vanished. Just when Truman planned to head home, her wife returned to drag her into the car, claiming she could predict the future. She began describing a woman on a red motorcycle, which was totally random, followed by a flowery guy. Plus a bee and a spider? What on earth is the joke here? Truman was utterly baffled, with a completely confused expression. She burst out laughing, saying, "Look, ladies, flowers." Got it. A bee, awesome. Truman thought this was just too funny. Want to know how I know? I tell ya, when they go upstairs, maybe a little bird flies by. Then they come back and go upstairs again. Such a funny cycle. Truman began to question the reality of it all. To soothe Truman, her wife pretended to agree on a trip, but with the catch of saving some cash. Such a setup. Let's go, ready. Why wait? The early bird gets the worm. Round the rocks and catch the people. Truman joked about where they were headed, totally falling into the trap. Miraculously, the once empty road suddenly filled with cars, blocking Truman. Totally hilarious. Realizing she'd been tracked, she pretended to go home but circled back to the original road. But to her surprise, there wasn't a car in sight. Truman thought this was a real joke. She reached a bridge, but her fear of water held her back. This was just too much. Her wife saw an opportunity to persuade her to turn back, but that's not her style. "We shouldn't do this, Truman. We'll be breaking the law." "My gosh, you can do it." "We made it. Hurry, haha." Truman sped across the bridge, while a sign warned of calls ahead. What a joke. But then, the ridiculous happened. A nuclear plant leak led to an emergency blockade. A cop strolled over and stopped her. A classic move. It scared her to death. "There's an issue ahead," he said as she appreciated. "Thank you for your help." He replied, "No problem, indeed." Although they were strangers, they knew her name without hesitation. Truman dashed out, but they were outnumbered. Moments later, Truman was cornered and pinned down in the woods. A totally unexpected surprise. "You clearly don't love me, so I'll have kids?" he asked. His wife replied, "Not at all," and then launched into an ad pitch. "Let me whip you up some new coconut drink, natural cocoa chili, straight from the mountaintops. 5 turtles. No elegance here." "What are you even talking about? This is hilarious. I've tried other cocos. This is the absolute best." "What a joke. Tell me what's going on." Truman kept pressing. She grabbed a knife from the table in panic, becoming downright creepy. "What?" Please snapped Truman to reality as he pressed, "Are you in on this too?" Just then, a knock echoed as Marlon appeared, saving the day and halting this crisis. Truman finally eased up, heading to their usual spot. Marlon was her most trusted friend, like a brother. Growing up together, every word Marlon spoke was scripted by the director, mischievously funny. However, Truman remained unaware of how Marlon's pauses indicated that he too was part of the performance, evoking in her a mixture of laughter and tears, leaving her utterly helpless. Then, at the director's cue, Marlon brought back her kidnapped father. What a relief. What a plot twist. This is the biggest joke of my life. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to me.